So what we're going to do now is we're going to simplify radical and exponent form. We're going to change from radical to exponent forms and back and forth. So here's the key concept. So what we're going to do is look at this. We have x to the 1/6 power, x to the 1/6 power. And since it's a fraction means we're going to have a radical sign. So what we need to understand is what the radical means. This is what's on the inside of the radical. This is what's on the outside of the radical. So if I were to change this to a radical form, I'm going to write my radical, the letter goes in, but the 1 will be the exponent of the x, and the 6 will be the root. And so I've just changed into radical form. Now we can do the same thing if we have radical form. So if we have radical z to the 4th root, we will change that to a z, but we're going to have a fraction. What's the exponent of z? It's a 1. The root is 4, so it's going to be the fraction of 1/4. So this number is the root, and it's also the denominator of the fraction. This number, or what's inside the exponent, is the numerator. And so we can change back and forth. So our answer for this one is z to the 1/4, and we change it to radical. It's the radical to the root 6 of x to the first power. Right, to simplify expressions with rational exponents, we need to use our rules of exponents. So if I'm multiplying, I'm actually going to add. And of course, then we have to know the rules of fractions. When you're adding fractions, you have to have a common denominator. So in this case, we have a common denominator. So this is what we're going to end up doing. We're going to take a, we're going to go 2/7 plus 4/7. And when you end up doing the addition, now that we have a fraction, the denominators doesn't change, but we add the numerators. So a to the 6/7 power is our answer. If we look at our next problem where we have a negative, that means we're going to flip this expression to the denominator, and the negative is now gone. But now we have our fraction exponent in the denominator that we have to remove. And to remove that, we're going to multiply by whatever it takes to get the fraction to 1. And when you're adding fractions, I need to add 1 more to 5 to get 6/6. So I'm going to add 1/6. And I'm going to multiply this on top and bottom because it's all 1. And this times this gives me 1. So b to the first power removes the fraction. And b 1/6 times 1 is just b to the 1/6. So b to the 1/6 is the numerator. B to the 6/6. And I'm going to write it 6/6, which is really b to the first power. And so there's no fraction anymore. And that's all we're trying to do is remove fraction from a denominator. And we have our answer simplified at this point. Now the issue arises when we're simplifying rational exponents when the denominators are not the same. When they're not the same, we have to change them. So a to the 3/4 I'm going to leave because I can change 1/2 to the denominator 4. And changing 1/2 is 2/4. Once I have them the same, then I can add them. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So I'm going to end up with a to the 5th, 5/4 as my fraction, or my exponent, or rational exponent in this case. Now division means I'm going to subtract. So this is a division. And so now I subtract exponents. Well, do I have the same denominator? And I do. So all I have to do then is subtract the numerator. So 4 minus 1 is 3. So x is going to be to the 3rd over 5. And so it's just a matter of knowing your exponent rules and knowing your fraction rules and applying it to our rational exponents.